Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another Star Wars video. And today's content is kind of interesting because, well, I hope it's kind of interesting at least, because we're covering something that even I, as a Star Wars ship fan, admittedly did not recognize until it was pointed out to me in a comment on one of my YouTube videos. And that's the fact that the Resurgent that we see in Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, is actually different. Maybe it's a Resurgent Type 2 or a Resurgent-II Star Destroyer, or just a single variation. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you didn't recognize the difference, well, that's not surprising. Let's cover it all today. So the Resurgent is somewhat unique for Star Wars ships, but Star Destroyers in particular, because it has some asymmetry. Specifically, the Resurgent has what looks like a shield bulb or a shield dome, perhaps though a sensor dome on its starboard side, but other equipment on its port side. You should be able to tell what I'm talking about, but just for further clarity, I'm talking about the little dome or the ball that's on one side of the ship, the top of the superstructure, that's not on the other side. And this is actually a feature that I really like for the Resurgent. First of all, it's a beautiful design overall. Very sleek and menacing, but something about the bridge just looks awesome. That's not, however, the case with the Resurgent we get in The Rise of Skywalker. So this is most clearly seen in Disney Plus's short, I guess they call it an anthology series, Star Wars Vehicle Fly-Throughs, which takes a closer look at the Millennium Falcon and the Resurgent, both as they appear in The Rise of Skywalker. And I don't know how I'm going to grab a screen grab from this because Disney Plus has made that very difficult. This may be a cell phone picture, but you can probably pretty clearly see that the Resurgent's bridge here is actually different. Interestingly though, the asymmetry is maintained because the port side still has that tower or antenna, which is not present on the starboard side. So it's interesting because this is a different model. I wasn't sure whether for some reason they just chose to reflect the bridge or something else when I first noticed the second deflector dome, but yeah, this isn't a simple mirror, this isn't a just reuse of the model that they were using for the other two movies. This is something completely different, and I'm really not sure why, and this is how the ship actually appears in The Rise of Skywalker as well. It's very hard to tell, but from some scenes you can see that there is the deflector on both sides, and my one guess is that perhaps this is related to the scene where the deflector shield is destroyed. Poe and the rest of the group on the horses destroy the shield generator from on the ship itself, and interestingly, it is the generator which doesn't exist on the ordinary Resurgent model, so that's pretty interesting. It's possible that this was a screw-up and they had to sort of change the model to make that work with everything else, or maybe it was just a choice to make a different Resurgent, one more closely mirroring the standard Imperial Star Destroyer. I'm really not sure. This Star Destroyer, by the way, was called the Steadfast. It was a very, very important ship within the First Order Navy. It was the flagship not only for Allegiant General Pride, but also seemed to be the base of operations for Kylo Ren and other high-level First Order individuals. So it could be that the ship was getting extra shielding for this reason. And earlier I pointed out the fact that this could be a deflector generator or some sort of sensor bulb. In the lore, we know specifically that it is a deflector shield generator. I was ambiguous because, honestly, the lore has sort of flip-flopped on what those bulbs on the top of Star Destroyers do. But if you look at the lore for the Resurgent, they are distinctly related to their shielding. So maybe the ship has twice as much shielding, or the bridge at least has an extra strong shield because of the extra projectors. Who knows for sure? Maybe someone can also check the end of the movie with the Resurgent crashing by Bespin to see whether that ship also has the twin bulbs. That would sort of help indicate whether this Resurgent was a different ship and meant to be a different ship, or whether the Rise of Skywalker just sort of changes how all Resurgents look or suggests a Resurgent-II class or something else. Another one of my ideas was that maybe the second bulb has something to do with the ability of the ship to lead the vessels out of Exegol, because we do see, of course, that function transferred to the Steadfast after the destruction of the satellite on the ground. But again, if that were the case, you'd probably think that the existing sensors and whatnot on the Resurgent would instead be doubled rather than the shields. But either way, a little bit odd. I'm not sure what was going on there. Again, my best guess is that they probably changed the model to fit the action scene as it was filmed for the movie, with the horses riding up the port side of the ship and destroying the generator there, so they changed the model overall, but who knows really. Let me know your thoughts. Is this some sort of Resurgent-II with extra powerful shielding? Was this meant to be a unique feature of the Steadfast as like one of the First Order's premier capital ships, or was this simply a retcon? Look forward to reading your comments down below. Till next time though guys, have a good one, be safe, and may the Force be with you.